have to talk about the Meg once again copying or competing with Catherine the Princess of Wales. It's weird, it feels obsessive, it's a little stalkerish, it's icky. Hi everybody, I'm Beebs Kelly. Welcome back to another video. Before we jump in, I'd like to invite you to subscribe if you have not yet already. Click the hype button and the like button, but only if you want to. So in the disastrous Harper's Bazaar interview, there was a tidbit that was overshadowed by the extremes of title announcing and unhinged pictures. And that was Meghan's attempt to frame herself as some sort of parenting research expert, which is as insane as it sounds. In the interview, Meghan Markle described her approach to raising her children as a study, utilizing various books and applications to inform her methods. Due to this diligent research, she was described as an authority within her friend circle, their words, not mine, on parenting, with friend Serena Williams claiming to have learned a lot from Meghan. You may think it's just an innocuous comment, sure. But for Meg, it's actually a little bit offbeat, for she typically likes to frame things as though she already knows all of it. She didn't have to learn any of it, she just knew it inherently. Even though she says learns repeatedly this year, she's said learns a lot, she never actually admits to learning something or mistakes or something that she didn't know beforehand that she had to learn or a mistake that she learned from. No, it's never anything specific. It's just these vague learns. You got to take the learns and do other things with them. She prefers always to look as though she already knows everything and is absolutely perfect and all-knowing. And you'll also surely know that Catherine, Princess of Wales's biggest initiative is the Early Years Projects and the Shaping Us campaign. Her advocacy for early childhood development, education, and family support is her life's work, and she's done really well with it. She's worked for years on research and collaborating with experts to develop campaigns and initiatives that can have lasting impacts and positive influence on culture towards early childhood. And though she doesn't claim to be an expert, she is well positioned to be. Plus, she has the experience of raising 3 of her own. So it all feels very genuine, very authentic, and true to who she is. And it's an extremely valuable subject, well executed. As a parent myself, I've spent so much time learning about early childhood development, and so seeing what Catherine is doing with this initiative is wonderful. It's very optimistic feeling, very positive. It's exactly what's needed for that information to become more and more accessible and integrated into culture and community. And so this is something that Catherine is known for now, and therefore people have found it very peculiar that Meghan is suddenly trying to come off as some authority in the field, who is some sort of expert amongst her friends. That's kind of weird on its own, is it not? For like one of the moms in the group to be like, I'm the expert, I'm the one who's done more research, and I'm the authority on parenting information here amongst us as a group. That alone is super weird. You're not going to make any friends fast that way, I'll tell you what. But it's not just that etiquette part that is strange. It's also the very fact that Meghan has never before mentioned this as an interest or a parenting philosophy, that she researches early childhood development or parenting or anything. She's never said anything like that before. And as I said, it doesn't really track with Meg's general typical way of speaking about herself. I don't think we've ever heard her say that she researches stuff. Even when she did Archetypes, the terrible podcast she tried and failed to have, where she should have researched. One of the problems was that she didn't. She didn't even research enough to understand what an archetype actually is versus a stereotype. This is a lady who couldn't even handle Googling the national anthem without complaining about it, whining that she shouldn't have had to Google it herself, and an actress who wants us to believe that it was hard for her to memorize a national anthem. And now suddenly she wants to be viewed as someone who has researched parenting so extensively she's an expert and an authority among her friends? What is happening? I totally understand why people say that she's clearly just trying to position herself as equal to or just as educated on the matter on parenting as Catherine, because the whole thing feels conspicuous and strange. It maketh no sense, and it doesn't make Meghan look good either. But this is exactly why people think she's trying to position herself as sort of competing in the realm of parenting and motherhood, which is bizarre on its own anyway and feels very immature. But I get where people are coming from on this. As this commentator, Anthony, said, Meghan and Harry both have a chip on their shoulders, an inner sense of persecution, and thus entitlement to be fast and loose with the truth. Rules for thee and not for me is their motto. That they feel like they can lie and fudge the truth and say whatever they want because of that chip on their shoulder. Which I think this is another example of that. Meghan and Harry seem to always feel entitled to respect as well without earning it. Which extends to when they perceive William as being respected for his work, Harry feels he needs to go and try to show how he's doing similar work, even though he's not. He tries to get similar publicity so he can feel like he's on par with William. And here we see an example of Meghan viewing as Catherine as earning respect in the field of early childhood development and parenting, and Meg wants that for herself. She feels entitled to it, and so she puts this into an interview. And this is one of the earliest and most long-standing problems with Harry and Meghan. When they were early in their relationship as working royals, they felt entitled to positive press and public adoration. And they felt that they should have had all the glowing press, paparazzi clamoring for photographs, inquiries for interviews and public affection immediately, without doing anything, without even doing any work yet. They felt entitled to that. And the second that they weren't getting it, they started their petulant tantrums and stomping their feet, and it hasn't stopped since, and it's still happening now. But what do you guys think? Do you think that this was Meghan alluding to, oh, I know things about parenting too. I also am educated in this just as well as Catherine. In fact, I am an authority amongst my friends. Or do you think that it was just a coincidence? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a happy day ahead, and I will see you next time. Bye!